everyone. Today I would like to talk about my labor experience. Actually, a bit of what I learned throughout pregnancy and labor and just the whole experience. So of course, we started going to the doctor. After we found out I was pregnant and everything, and as the due date was coming up, we started consulting our doctor about how the pregnancy experience is going to be, and talking about the options that we could do, like normal delivery, C-section, and then epidural or no epidural, and all that kind of stuff. And because like for me, my baby was already, her head was already down, so there was no need for a C-section. Everything seemed normal, and there was no need for a C-section, so we were going for natural. And the hospital that I went to, they try as much to do normal delivery as much as possible, and if really can't, then they will opt for a C-section. So even with epidural, my doctor was like, oh, like, we'll try not to do an epidural, but if you really want to, that's okay as well, and all that. So when the delivery day came, well, I delivered about 11 days earlier, so I was induced. My water bag was broken but like the doctor broke it, and then contraction happened, and then the baby came. So it was a very long labor because it took 15 hours for the cervix to dilate to 10 cm, and throughout the process, when the contraction started, the nurse had asked me if I wanted to take epidural, because epidural is something that I need to take a few hours before, because I can't just take it at that point and then it will start working. Like, it takes time to work. So they asked me earlier itself if I want to take an epidural, because if not, it will be too late to take an epidural and it will not have any effect on me. And so going into, of course, before going into labor and everything, while I was pregnant, I talked to a lot of people and stuff, and a lot of people gave their insights. So some people said, just take the epidural, it's going to be so painful, like, don't wait till the last minute, because then it won't have any effect, so just take it. Some people said, the pain is just for a while, like, it's just at that point, so try to hang on as much as you can. And then some people were like, the epidural really helped, and the epidural did not help at all. So going into delivery and everything, I said, I'm going to try to not take the epidural, because I just want to experience at least one of my birth, if I get pregnant again, like at least one pregnancy. I just want to have the whole experience of the pain and everything, because I don't know what my pain threshold is, but I just wanted to see how far I could go. So I said, okay, I'm not going to do epidural. But of course, when that day came, they do ask you if you want an epidural, and I said, no, I'm gonna skip the epidural. So they gave us normal painkillers that they would give everyone. So the painkiller would work for a couple of hours, then it would wear out, and then take it again. That's the basic painkiller. So that one I was on. So because my labor was very long, so they gave me 2 doses, because to help me with the pain. But that was about it. So of course, going into labor, you don't, and this is my first pregnancy, so I did not know what to expect. And I would talk a lot to my husband about, like, how I don't know what to feel like and stuff like that. And he told me some really great insights. I know a lot of people are like, oh, don't listen to men, they don't know what they're talking about, and they've never been through it, and if they go through it, blah blah blah. And my husband was very aware of that. He did not try to impose things on me and make it seem like, oh, it's nothing. He never did that, but he just told me a couple of things which were really, really helpful, and really, like, helped me really look at the reality of pregnancy and delivery and labor and everything. So while I was pregnant, the first thing that amazed me was the fact that a human can grow inside a woman's body. Like, that really just, like, until now, I still cannot comprehend how amazing our God is, that He created our bodies, or He created all of us to be able to be inside our mother's womb and have life and grow in there. Like, it's just amazing. Like, my first few months of pregnancy was really bad. I had really bad, like, completely bad, not morning sickness. I couldn't go to work for 3 months, because it was not just like normal morning sickness, it was bad, like bad shape morning sickness. And I lost so much weight, and I couldn't eat and all that kind of stuff. And even with all that vomiting and me not being able to feed the baby because I was constantly vomiting, there was life growing inside of me. And that just, I'm so in awe of how amazing our God is, that He thought about this whole biological process and how to put a baby in there and how the baby can survive with the mom's food. And even if the mom is sick and all, the baby can still, and that made me realize that, wow, it is truly God's grace. Because no matter what we do, like, no matter, like there are a lot of pregnancy stories that I heard while I was pregnant, where the mom was completely, like, took care of everything throughout her pregnancy, but somehow the baby was, that there was miscarriage and stuff. And it does happen, like, babies do die, it's like die in the womb, and there's miscarriages and stuff like that. So I realized that, number one, how amazing our God is, that he thought of all these things, where each and every single detail of birth in our mother's womb is already thought of. Like, how does the food go, how does the blood flow, how is it that if, let's say, the mom accidentally eats something like that has gone bad, it will not affect the baby, to a certain extent and stuff like that. This is the first thing I realized. The second thing I realized was that life, like birth, having a baby, like, it's God's grace. There are a lot of things that I did while I was pregnant which I didn't know I could not do. Like, I found out I was pregnant when I was about 4 weeks into pregnancy. Like, I didn't find out straight away. So because I didn't know I was pregnant, like, I did certain vigorous activities that I should not have done if I knew I was pregnant. And it was really by God's grace that nothing happened to the baby. And there were a couple instances where I almost had a fall, and I was already very pregnant and very much pregnant, and I almost had a fall. And it was just definitely God who saved me at that point. And it is really truly God's grace that there is life, that the baby, there's life in us and in women, and a baby can be born. Because no matter how much we try, at the end of the day, I feel like it really is God's grace. That's something. So, and then when I was going through labor, then my husband pointed out a few things about how we women have been created to go through birth, like delivery and labor and pregnancy. Like, God has created women to be able to hold a baby, to be able to go through the pain, to be able to go through the postpartum pain, like the stitching and everything. Like, God has made us to be that way, like to be able to handle those things. And another thing he said that was really really made me calm as well was that, like, pregnancy and delivery has been there since Eve. And it's, with technology now and everything, like, the doctors know what they're doing, and of course ultimately it's God, but God works through people as well. And like, He's there to take care of the delivery, and everything that happens is not new. Pregnancy is not new, delivery is not new, labor is not new, epidural is not new. Like, all these things have happened. So, like, to not worry. So that also gave me a lot of calmness. Like, it's not new, my body can handle it. Like, I'm not gonna die because of the pain, you know what I mean? So that, like, somehow really helped. And then another thing that I learned was, so I'm so thankful that my husband was able to be there with me, because last year during COVID, we were talking to our doctor, and our doctor said that last year during COVID, even the husbands were not allowed, because that time COVID was still new and everything. So wives would be FaceTiming their husbands from the labor, because the husbands couldn't go in because of COVID. So I'm very thankful to God that my husband was with me throughout that 30 hours, no, and even after that, but that until delivery, he was there throughout. And I'm so thankful that he was there holding my hand throughout. And again, people say that men don't know anything, but I was talking to him after that, asking him his experience, and he was saying how, as a guy, right, men, they want to try and help you, they always want to try and solve your problem. But he said, like, he was sitting there and he realizing that he couldn't do anything to help me, anything to reduce the pain. Like, that was very challenging for him. That also like affected his mind, and it was very stressful for him as well. And that's when I realized, whoa, like, pregnancy and labor, it's not just about the woman, it's also about the men. Like, whether he's there or even if he's not there, like, you know, even worse, it's like, oh my god, what's happening to my wife, is she okay? So, and then my husband there and watching me go through the pain and everything, he was like, oh my god, I can't do anything. Of course he stayed calm throughout the process for me, but after that, talking to him, he was like, it was really really difficult because I couldn't do anything to help you, and that's hard. Like the fact that my hands are tied and I can't do anything, so that was really challenging. And that's when I realized, whoa, men also go through their fair share of challenges when their wives are pregnant and in labor and delivery. And that's when I realized, like, whoa, like, yes, the women give birth and deliver and everything, but the husband also has he is also in a very challenging and stressful situation. And and that's when I learned to appreciate my husband one step more. Was that, like, whoa, like, it's crazy, and but it's so amazing. And I would like to urge all of you, wives or husbands out there, like, if you have the opportunity and the ability to go into labor with your wives, or the wives, the opportunity to take your husband with you into labor room, please do it. It just opens up a new window of opportunity to grow your relationship as husband and wife. That 1.5 days, well, 3 days altogether in the hospital, of just being with my husband in the hospital, going through labor, going through stress, going through 30 hours of no sleep, the both of us, just waiting for dilation to take place, and then the whole process of seeing the baby come out and just everything. But having each other there like that was such an amazing thing, and it just made it even more enjoyable to go through, because you're with someone that you love, and it was just so amazing. And yeah, so that's all I would like to share about my labor experience. And I just want to say, like, to all women out there, you guys are amazing, whether it is a normal delivery, whether it's a C-section, whether it's with epidural, without epidural, whatever it is, like, you guys are doing great. And to husbands out there who support your wife and who's always there for your wife, going through things with her, not just labor but just anything, you guys are awesome too. And yeah, I just wanted to share my experience, and hope you guys were entertained, or were touched by this sharing. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.